Cycling has rules. Written rules, unwritten rules, and the ones riders pretend don't exist until the cameras are rolling. What's the worst thing you've ever seen in a race? A crash? A punch? Some shameless cheating? This isn't about hard racing. This is about disrespect. Contador versus Armstrong, Tour de France 2009. Astana has built the dream team, or at least that's what they told the sponsors. Alberto Contador, the current Tour champion, is at the peak of his powers, and back from the shadows, Lance Armstrong, 7-time Tour winner, depending on which era of Wikipedia you're checking. One team, two egos, and about as much unity as a family reunion with an open bar. On paper, the plan was simple. Armstrong rides shotgun, Contador goes for yellow, everyone cashes in. But on the road, civil war. From the very first mountain stages, the tension was visible. Armstrong staring at Contador like a man watching his ex walk in with someone taller. Then came Verbier, stage 15, the climb where Contador blew up the entire charade. Team radio, wait and stay with Armstrong. Contador, forget that. He stands and attacks with everything he has, tearing away from the group and leaving Armstrong, his own teammate, gasping behind. It wasn't just a move, it was a declaration. Afterward, the Cold War went public. Armstrong muttered to cameras that Contador was not a true champion.
Your team in formation in the front, were you surprised when Contador won, or was that an expected plan?
That wasn't really to the plan, but
Contador fired back in press conferences with a smile sharp enough to cut glass. Even the podium felt like a hostage situation. Two men forced to share champagne while plotting each other's funerals in their heads. Tour de Pologne 2020. Stage 1 of the 2020 Tour of Poland was supposed to be routine. A sprint finish, clear lines, and a winner with arms in the air. Instead, it turned into one of the darkest images modern cycling has ever broadcast. The speed, nearly 60 kilometers an hour. The road, narrow. And in the middle of it, Dylan Groenewegen, head down, legs churning, deciding the straight line wasn't straight enough. He swerved, a shoulder adrift. Jakobsen boxed against the fence with nowhere to go. And then
Groenewegen, Jakobsen, Jakobsen into the bars! Absolutely hellish crash on the finish line.
Barriers explode. Officials fly. The final line dissolved into chaos. Riders tumbling, marshals screaming, medics sprinting. In the middle of it all, Jakobsen lay broken, unrecognizable, fighting for his life. The images spread instantly. Slow motion replays looping endlessly, showing Groenewegen's move frame by frame. The commissaries wasted no time, disqualified on the spot. The UCI handed down a 9-month ban, but punishment didn't erase the reality. Riders called it beyond dangerous, a betrayal of the fragile trust that makes sprinting even possible. Tensions can reach a boiling point in cycling. Thankfully, most manage to keep their cool, but not all. Vuelta a España 2014. Stage 16 of the 2014 Vuelta should have been forgettable. Instead, it turned into cycling's ugliest fistfight. Live, in HD, it started small. Elbows, words, the kind of bickering you usually keep tucked inside the peloton. Then came the moment. Brambilla snapped and swung an arm. Rovny swung back. Suddenly, we were watching two grown men in lycra trying to punch each other while riding at 40 kilometers an hour. Two men, one job. Pedal. They chose punches instead. Swing haymakers isn't a definite no-no in cycling, but some rules go unwritten. Tour de France 2010, Stage 15, the Porte du Balais. Andy Schleck, yellow jersey on his back, out of the saddle, launching an attack that could define the Tour. The plan was clear. Put time into Contador before the time trial. Cycling has an unwritten law. You don't attack when a rival suffers a mechanical, particularly if that rider is wearing the leader's jersey. But it's inferred, not set in stone. So what do you do when the yellow jersey drops his chain?
Oh, what's happened? His chain's off. Schleck's chain's off.
Schleck's chain slips, jams and locks. He's on the roadside, wrestling with his bike, screaming in frustration as the race disappears up the climb. And then Contador goes. No hesitation, no pause, no glance back. The reigning champion powers away, dragging the rest of the GC contenders with him. The code of honor? Torn apart on live television. By the summit, Schleck had lost nearly 40 seconds and the yellow jersey. The cameras loved it. Unwritten disrespect to the extreme. But technically, no rules broken, unlike this next guy. Vuelta a España 2015. Stage 2 of the 2015 Vuelta a España. Vincenzo Nibali, Tour de France champion, Giro winner, one of the most decorated riders of his generation, finds himself chasing after a crash. He's off the back, panicking, staring at the peloton disappearing up the road. Cycling has a long history of cheating, but usually you're supposed to try at least to hide it. Blood bags, hidden motors, magic wheels, elaborate theatrical schemes. Nibali's plan? A straight arm grab in front of the helicopter. He makes a choice. Not tactical, not calculated, shameless. Class A cheating, but disrespect doesn't always come with bans or crashes. Sometimes it's just one gesture that says it all. Tour de France 2010. Stage 11 of the Tour de France. Flat stage, sprint finish locked and loaded. Cavendish is the missile, Renshaw is the launch pad. The job is simple. Hold position, drop him off, disappear. But Renshaw has other ideas. Julian Dean drifts across the road, leaning on Renshaw, trying to push him off Cav's wheel. In sprinting, a little shoulder is normal. A headbutt, not so much. Renshaw doesn't hesitate. He drops the bars, lowers his head and slams it into Dean. Once, twice, 3 times. But Renshaw decides the job isn't finished. He veers across the road, shuts down Pataki and nearly puts him in the barriers. The sprint is chaos. Cavendish launches and wins. But that's not protection, that's madness. The commissaries didn't bother with fines, they just kicked him out of the tour.
Probably looks a little bit over the top for the person that doesn't know cycling, but
Luckily, nobody was hurt, but that's not always the case. Tour de France 2017. Stage 4 of the Tour de France. A flat run-in, a straight drag race, the kind of finale where legends are written in milliseconds. Mark Cavendish, the Manx missile, the most prolific sprinter of his generation, was boxed in but clawing for daylight. Peter Sagan, the reigning world champion, master of chaos, surfing wheels like it was just another day at the office. The speed? Nearly 60 kilometers an hour. The space? None. And then it happens.
Trying to fight this out. Oh, the crash on the barriers.
Cavendish hits steel. Metal folds, bars snap, the missile detonates on impact. He crumples into the road in a heap of broken carbon and broken bones. Shoulder shattered, tour finished. The sprint result? Irrelevant. No one remembers the winner. The only images anyone can recall are the replays. Cavendish on the ground, motionless. From Armstrong and Contador's civil war to Jakobsen's nearly fatal crash to Brambilla throwing haymakers mid-stage, cycling has shown us something brutal. The line between competition and disrespect is razor thin. These weren't accidents, they weren't flukes. They were decisions, calculated or impulsive, that played out on live television, burned into the collective memory of the sport.